Hi, this is Wishup, and we're back for the weekly reading from Monday, August 23rd through Sunday, August 30th. So we're not quite into September yet, but we're getting so close. And I'll say what everyone else has said this year. The year is flying, but celestially, there are some reasons for that. It does feel like time is speeding up. But let's go into the astrology for the week. I think importantly, this week, not too much is changing in a dramatic way. And we've had some pretty dramatic changes and some pushes and pulls and ups and downs. This week, the big deal is that the Sun will conjunct Jupiter on Wednesday, August 26th, which is beautiful. That's great luck for everybody. It's like this great big, sunny ball of joy right in the middle of there. And it's usually a very lucky day, or at least is thought that it could be. Because Jupiter and the Sun are in Virgo there together, look for things which are practical in nature. So it could be things about your health. It could be stuff having to do with your job. It could be money. It could be something to do with your home. It could be also, because Virgo is a sign that takes care of details, it could be something little that turns out to mean a lot. You didn't realize it, it didn't seem like that big a deal, and then when it comes back to you, it's multiplied, it's compounded, it's really grown into something that feels like a terrific blessing. So that's something very much to look forward to, is that Wednesday should feel like a great day. And as always with planetary energies, there's a little bit of spillover into other days. So expect that that will cast a little bit of a golden glow on the week, and we could really use it to be a little calm, a little kind. At the end of the week is the full moon in Pisces on the 30th. So a full moon tends to bring culminations, and I'm going to talk more about that. But in Pisces, it's a very watery energy. Pisces is the oldest sign of the zodiac, so it's full of deep wisdom, but sometimes wisdom that doesn't come out in clear thoughts or words. It comes out in creativity, it comes out in feelings, it comes out in art. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by your emotions, and you may not, you may just experience this as this, sort of beautiful upwelling of creative energy and of affection and love. But if you're feeling it in a way that feels difficult or challenging, you might think about trying to channel that Pisces energy into something creative. And I'm going to have more suggestions about that, because the I Ching was pretty interesting this week. I've never gotten this card actually in this deck before, and I've certainly never gotten it for our readings, but I do think the time is right and it makes a lot of sense. So the number is 23, and this says splitting apart, impermanence, collapse, deterioration, separation, let go, surrender, eliminate the old, and death. And I don't want you to be too scared by this, because what I think this represents is, how over the last, weeks and months, we've been going through all this deep inner work and all this redetermining of who we are and all this redefining. And now that the Sun has moved into Virgo, that sense of ourself is actually playing out on the canvas of our lives. And so these little changes are starting to flow through in lots of practical, tangible little ways, as the self that we put to death, or the habits that we put to death, or the relationships or the behaviors that we put to death, that now becomes something that we can see in our life. We can maybe see their absence, or we can see what's taken their place, or we can just see that there's this stillness where we used to stuff something in there. And so I think this is actually about the letting go. 23 can be a very spiritual number, but it adds up to 5, so it can be a little bit conflicted at times. The rest of the planets are pretty calm this week, and if anything, are smiling on you. So if you feel those deep feelings, a little bit of grief, a little bit of loss, or just a little bit of settling, like settling into this new creation that you've become, just try to let go and surrender to it, and let the tides of the moon and the deep tides of Pisces just wash away the worries, wash away your cares, let it heal you. The water signs, it's very healing energy. Let those tides come in and heal you. The sun wants to bless you. Jupiter wants to bless you. The moon wants to heal you. Just let that happen. Take it easy on yourself. What we see here in the picture shows a feather on some stones, but this is a feather. It's not a dead bird, okay? This is something that you're shedding, that you're leaving behind. And it's natural when you're undergoing a big change like this to feel some almost like hangover effects, right? A little bit of, toxic effects, or you could even feel a fluey feeling. If you've been making the kind of big changes that a lot of people I know have, and honestly, the changes I've been making are very significant and are continuing to happen. I mean, I am making these changes just like sort of in tune with that Virgo energy. The changes that I've decided upon are now happening. I'm putting them all in place, piece by piece, and I'm taking action on them. And while I'm doing that one by one, I can't be thinking about every other thought in the world. I just have to work on completing this process for myself. And you may be having similar feelings. So take it easy on yourself. And this is death as a transformation. This is the transformation we've been working towards. It's the one that we waited for. It's the one that we never thought we'd get to. And here we are. And I know it's very normal to feel a little scared as you face it, but you're going to face it and you're going to be great. And you have a lot of help. So let's look at the tarot. Since I used up all that time on the astrology, here I said it wouldn't be too dramatic, and I'm yammering on. I decided to do the Hoi Polloi Tarot, and I'm also doing the Lenormand houses with it. So here's the retro Lenormand. Oh, look at that. Who doesn't want to see the angel? And the sun. Oh my gosh, how nice. Yes. And birds. Okay. Very good. All right, so the Lenormand cards, let me hold it up closely so you can see it. This is the angel, 38. So this is actually an extra card in the deck I have, but it means that you're being divinely guided. I mean, I think, how can you say more than that? The sun, of course, in the middle of our week, the sun conjuncts Jupiter in Virgo, and here it is, just showing up to say, I'm on your side. All that sunny energy is about self. It's about who you are, what you want to do, what gives you joy, and that energy is with you too. And here's the energy of the birds. Now the birds can be agitated energy. So there can be talking, there can be chatting, there can be, lots of activity and flying around. In this case, I'm going to say that this might refer to busy thoughts around these topics or talk around these topics. In which case, what we were talking about, that idea of journaling out your feelings or doing something creative to make sure that you're letting yourself process all the emotions that go with what you've been through, that might be a great idea. And I think this sort of emphasizes that it would be a great idea. The other thing I wanted to mention quickly is, if there is something that you've legitimately let go of and you can see now you really are letting go of it, you really are different, you might think about doing a little ritual near the full moon to say goodbye to it. So it can be as simple as writing what it is on a piece of paper and burning the paper and putting the ashes out in the lawn. It can be just a thought in your head. But that little bit of a ritual around the time of the full moon, which brings culminations, is a very good way to say a respectful and loving goodbye to something that you don't need anymore. So let's go to the tarot cards. And we get, Three of Wands. Awesome. Queen of Pentacles. Yes, yes. Four of Pentacles. Okay. So Three of Wands is a card we can think of as it's an exciting, energetic card. It's that fiery wands energy. A lot of people think of this as the ship comes in card because you can see these little ships on the horizon. And with the watery energy later in the week, I want you to see this guy is not worried about water. He's in a stable position, so he's not stressing about that. So he's got his plans made. He's sent out his ships, and now he's just waiting for them to come in. I think every process you've put into motion, you don't need to keep running over it in your mind or try to redo it. You have set the balls in motion. You've sent the bowling ball down the alley, and even if those last pins are kind of wiggling and waggling and haven't gone over yet, it's all happening. It's all in motion. So just relax and be good to yourself while you're playing out with it. The Queen of Pentacles is obviously very earthy energy. We can really think of it as the classic Virgo energy. She has her mind on her money and her money on her mind. She's looking at the tangible details of life. She's abundant. You know, there's all this fruit around her. She's got great home and family and security. And the sun is really blessing that. So if you have felt insecure in your earning, insecure in your health, look for this week, especially on Wednesday, to get a little dose of joy there that helps you feel more secure, more in command of your own life. The Four of Pentacles here is, we can sometimes think of this as a miserly card, right? Like he's holding on for dear life to something. But also here, I think of this sometimes as being the four elements, right? He's got the four elements and he's keeping them all together in balance, and that's how he's managed to command this city behind him of all its different, needs and wants and people. Here, I can see it as a sign of unbalance. But again, with the birds, I think the idea is get it out. You might feel a little unbalanced at the end of the week. It's transitory because it's the moon. Everything the moon does, it does fast. So even if you're feeling a little bit off kilter at the end of the week, let it flow over you. Let that cleansing happen, right? Even encourage the cleansing that the water signs can bring. Take a shower, take a salt water bath. Just let all of the stuff that you've accumulated that's part of this old life or this old thing that you've put beside you, let it wash away from you. So the oracle card for the week is the Art Through the Eyes of the Soul Oracle by Cheryl Yambrecht Rose. And let's see what we got. Oh, follow your heart. Well, isn't that nice? Follow your heart, of course, can be about romance. And Pisces is a very romantic, very sensitive sign. So you may find that at the end of the week, you're feeling romantic feelings and, go with that. Have some fun, like let yourself enjoy who you are and what you care about. But even if it's not a romantic interlude that you end up with, this follow your heart really means keep following that deep wisdom. Don't overthink what you've done. Don't second guess yourself. Even though Virgo is a very analytical sign, at its worst, it can tend towards anxiety and worry. This is a time to realize the angels are with you, the sun is with you, the stars are with you. You've done so much work. Just follow your heart. If you have to grieve something, grieve it. But really try to let this new life that you are birthing come forward because it's coming forward, and hopefully you'll see in the middle of the week at least some beautiful blessings of it and realize what great stuff you've done for yourself and how this is setting the plate for the life that you want. So that's it, and I'm running out of time. Okay, talk to you next week. Rock on.